So, welcome to today's deep dive. When you hear the name Carcassonne, you probably just picture this beautiful snapshot of, like, medieval knights and drawbridges. Right?
Oh, yeah. Just a frozen tourist destination down in southern France.
Exactly. But looking at today's sources, that postcard-perfect fortress is actually hiding this brilliant blueprint for how to survive the AI revolution.
Which totally flips the script. I mean, instead of looking at a dusty museum, we're really looking at a living, breathing model of how digital networks and remote work are turning these overlooked, historic small cities into massive economic powerhouses.
Right, and to really understand how a tiny medieval city competes in the digital age, we have to unpack three pivotal shifts in its past. Starting with the first massive shift, which was the Roman era. They didn't just put some soldiers on a hill.
No, they completely rewired the landscape. They built the era's ultimate hardware, roads, administrative systems, physical walls. The Romans understood that, well, infrastructure creates power.
Which, if you think about it, is directly comparable to modern digital data networks.
Oh, 100%.
Like, whether you're talking about stone pathways or modern fiber optics, both completely dictate the global flow of trade, influence, and information. The Romans essentially enforced this strict, standardized API for trade.
Right. They set the rules of the platform,
Yeah.
but once you build a dominant network, you have to control the people using it, which is where the second shift comes in the 1209 Albigensian Crusade.
Yes, the Cathar resistance.
Exactly. The Pope and the King of France basically teamed up to crush this local group in Carcassonne called the Cathars. They had built this anti-authoritarian, decentralized, spiritual society.
Wait, isn't that like the exact same struggle we're seeing right now with decentralized AI?
How do you mean?
Well, you have open source data fighting against centralized tech monopolies today.
Yeah.
Just like central powers besieging a city to crush autonomy, control the narrative.
Yes, that parallel is spot on. The battlefield merely shifted. So, 800 years ago, kings fought to protect physical populations behind stone walls. Today, tech monopolies are fighting to protect intellectual populations behind digital walls.
That is fascinating. But those central powers might have won that battle, but the stone walls eventually became useless anyway.
Right, by the 1800s, trade routes had completely bypassed the city.
Yeah, military tech made the walls obsolete, and the place was literally scheduled for demolition. Which brings us to the third shift.
It was just a decaying ruin. But then this architect, Eugene Viollet-le-Duc, stepped in and executed what might be the greatest rebrand in history.
He didn't just fix the masonry.
No, he famously reinvented Carcassonne from an obsolete ruin into a cultural monument. He essentially fueled it with global tourism.
And that history of rebranding leads directly to the crossroads the city faces right now.
Yeah.
Because we've entered a new civilizational pivot with the age of intelligence.
Right. AI and digital remote work mean that small cities can finally compete globally. They don't need giant industrial centers anymore.
Because places like Carcassonne have affordability, walkability, deep culture. It's incredibly attractive to modern remote workers. But let me push back a bit here.
Sure, go for it.
The geography is beautiful, obviously, but what does this transition specifically mean for current residents and local leaders? Can a literal tourist trap really become a boutique innovation hub?
Well, that's the stark choice facing Carcassonne's leadership right now. They can sit back and passively remain a preserved, symbolic museum, or they can actively evolve.
Evolve into what exactly?
Into a Mediterranean hub for creative intelligence and localized production. But to do that, they have to actively build modern infrastructure, not just fast internet, but spaces that foster innovation. Distributed intelligence is the new infrastructure.
Which really proves that surviving history means you have to constantly rewrite your identity.
Exactly, you can't just build thicker walls.
Right, which leaves you, the listener, with a final thought to mull over.
Yeah.
If digital infrastructure means we no longer need to crowd into expensive megacities to be successful,
Right.
what overlooked, historic small town near you is quietly positioned to become the next unexpected hub of global innovation. Think about that Frozen Museum snapshot from the beginning. Maybe the town you think is stuck in the past is actually writing the blueprint for our future.